Hey folks, Bill from CambodiYeah. A while ago, I did a video about how to decide if you really want to move to Cambodia. And this is the other side of that coin. This is whether or not you're right for Cambodia. Are you compatible with Cambodia? And will it work for you? Will it welcome you in or will it spit you out? Compatibility, like any relationship, whether it's with another person, whether it's with a job, whether it's with a place, it may be right for you or they may be right for you, but you may not be right for them. That situation. Compatibility is a two-way street. So here's how to determine if you and Cambodia are compatible. Several ways. The first one is, can you support yourself with external work or income? Like if you are old enough that you're receiving Social Security benefits, then, well, that's a no-brainer. You've got your money, you're fine. It's enough to live on in Cambodia, as long as you're not trying to go really extravagant and Western-style living. Otherwise, if you're still working, do you have work outside of Cambodia that you can do remotely that supports you? Because if you're going to Cambodia to then look for work, I'm just going to tell you that's a bad idea. If it's a teaching job, well, I have the opposite opinion of the one I had 5 years ago when I did that route and realized, I didn't really want to teach. I got the certification and all of that. And I ended up just like, it didn't work and I ended up coming back. But on top of that, if you're not already an experienced teacher and you're just showing up with a certification, it's not fair to the students because a lot of people, they just show up, they'll teach for a month and then they'll go somewhere else. And then another teacher comes in and the students have to get used to a new teacher and it causes a lot of instability. And even if you're there long term, if you're not sure what you're doing, that's not fair to the kids. They need experienced long-term teachers who are going to be there for at least the whole school year, if not, further school years after that. People who know what they're doing, people who are passionate about teaching and who are good at it and know what they're doing. Otherwise, it's just not fair to the schools. It's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to Cambodia because those kids are Cambodia's future. And you don't want to just use them as fodder for your decision to live in a cheaper place. It's not fair. And if it's other kind of work you're seeking, well, you're probably not going to get paid very well because Cambodians make an average of about $200 a month. You can't live on that. I promise you. And it wouldn't be fair for them to pay locals $200 a month and you like $1,000. That's not right. It's not fair to the locals. So have work already set up for you. If you've got that going or you've got Social Security payments, you should be fine. The next thing is, are you easygoing or are you uptight? Do you just kind of go with the flow? Are you able to adapt to change? Or do you need things to be done just so? You need them to be done right, on time, all the time. You need everything to be punctual. If it's the latter, you're probably not going to be very compatible with Cambodia because things don't go on time. They're not always done right. You got to really kind of search around to find people who know how to do things well. Whether it's fixing a moto or a fridge or something like that, just various services, you have to kind of search around and find the right person. And if you need things to always be just right, or you get flummoxed when things don't go right, then it's not going to work for you. You need to just be able to adapt and go with the flow. Are you able to take a joke and laugh at yourself? If not, then it's probably not going to work. And Cambodians like to do some playful teasing. It's not meant to be mean. It's not meant to be hostile. It's not meant to hurt your feelings. There's this sense of humor where they may poke fun about a physical feature of yours. You got a big nose. You're fat. Something like that. Hey, you've got funny nose. You're fat. Something like that, And they're just like laughing about silly stuff and just kind of being playfully teasing. In a way, it's kind of like, I'm Gen X. We have a thing called giving each other shit. And we do that with the people we like. And if we don't like you, we're probably not talking to you at all. So the way the locals joke around with people, it's kind of like that, giving you shit. They're just trying to playfully tease a little bit, and they don't mean anything mean. So if you would get offended by that, if you would be upset by that or take it personally, then you're probably not going to be very happy in Cambodia. Here's some serious stuff, your mental health. Are you in a situation right now, because your environment can have a lot to do with how well you can manage your mental health issues. Believe me, I know. Dealing with anxiety, depression, complex PTSD. Yay, raised by narcissists. What fun. But I've also done a lot of work over the decades to learn how to manage my damage. I'm pretty easygoing. I can laugh at myself, and I can manage my mental health issues pretty well. They can still sneak up on me and overwhelm me from time to time, but overall, I'm doing all right. But if you're in a fragile place with your mental health management, I would say that if you're in a situation right now where you're getting help and you're getting improvement, stick with that, stay with that until you really feel stable enough to the point where you're pretty much self-managed. Don't come to Cambodia when you're in that fragile state. Factors to consider, like your environment, like are you in an environment that is really toxic? Is it just your situation is just really contributing negatively to your mental health? That's important. And there's a lot of people who go to Cambodia and they find that it just helps them immensely. And it's just, things are easy going. It's not so toxic. They warm up to it. It's a great help to them. I've seen people on other channels having this exact kind of experience. And there are others for whom it overwhelms them and it's just not right for them. And they just, it's a bit too much. Their anxiety takes over. They get depressed because they're away from everything and everyone they know, and they kind of spiral down. So it can go either way. And that really depends on you. So you really do have to make an honest assessment of how you're managing your mental health. Going hand in hand with that is addiction issues. Again, some people, they go to Cambodia, their mental health improves, and hand in hand with that, they find it easier to manage their addiction issues, because addiction issues and mental health issues are very much intertwined. Then there are those who, well, let's just say there's no shortage of people who are homeless by the riverside in Phnom Penh, overdosing. Everything went to shit. And there are also alcoholics that show up, and because the beer is so cheap and plentiful, they end up just spending all their time in the bar. They end up hating Cambodia and becoming jaded. They're not enjoying it anymore, but hey, it's cheap drinks. And so they just stay in this miasma, drinking every day. And also because meds are easy to get and cheap and don't require a prescription, there's a lot of people who abuse those kind of drugs and it just goes really bad. So if you have addiction issues, be really careful about your decision. Make sure you're not showing up with an active addiction issue that's really unmanaged, because it could spell the end for you, literally. So be good to yourself. Medical issues. Like if you have severe medical issues or things that require a lot of specialization, that may not be so good for you, because the healthcare situation in Cambodia, it isn't great. It's not as bad as it was years ago. You can, for the most part, get things taken care of. But if it's a serious issue or requires a lot of specialization, you're not going to find many resources, and you'll probably end up having to go to Bangkok. And if it turns out to be an emergency, well, that's precious time being wasted having to get way over there to take care of something that in your home you might be able to go to a hospital that's 10, 20 minutes away. So think about that. Dietary restrictions. Are there certain things you're severely allergic to, like peanuts or seafood? There is going to be a bit of a communication barrier with food. For instance, I have a friend who's extremely allergic to seafood. If he were to go to Cambodia and just ask for dishes without seafood, he'd get stuff without like fish or crab or shrimp or whatever in it, but they might put fish sauce in. They're not going to think about that as seafood, but it would still cause the same allergic reaction for him. Same with like peanuts. There's a lot of peanuts thrown into stuff. They don't have the separation of making foods separate from where other foods are prepared a lot of the time. So if you have severe food allergies, that's going to be a problem. If you have severe digestive issues, IBS, things like that, there are bacteria that your body will not be familiar with that will take some time to adjust. There's a lot to think about there. And with dietary restrictions such as like diabetes and stuff like that, you can manage that. You just have to be really vigilant and really kind of just go to the wet market, select your ingredients, cook at home a lot. Every once in a while, maybe go out and eat. The main thing I would say is how adaptable are you when life throws monkey wrenches into your plans, when things go wrong, when you run into emergencies? Are you able to adapt and be resourceful and resilient and deal with those things pretty easily? Can you think on your feet? Do you panic or do you get overwhelmed and just like freeze up? Things can and will go wrong in life, and they do in Cambodia. And it's not as easy to solve those problems in Cambodia. It's kind of a high maintenance place to live. Are you able to just go with the flow of the changes and all of that? You just can't be the kind of person who's rude to people or uppity or condescending or feels the need to act tough or intimidating. You got to be easygoing, kind, friendly, gentle. That's the way that's going to go best for you in Cambodia. If you try to act tough and all that kind of stuff, not only are you going to look insecure as heck, it's not going to be responded to well. If you try to be intimidating or pushy or insistent, no, you got to be able to just talk to people openly with some friendliness and resolve situations with some diplomacy and not get visibly upset. You have to be able to handle and be in control of your emotions. If you get thrown off easily, you get upset easily, you're probably not going to be very compatible. So I hope you take these things seriously. I hope you are extremely honest with yourself about yourself and see if you are compatible with the way things are in Cambodia. If you have any further questions about this, please, feel free to ask. I would love it if you'd like and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. And also, I just want to say to everyone who's been watching, everyone who's been commenting over the past while that I've been doing this channel, I so much appreciate your kindness, your support, your compliments, all the good stuff you've been giving me. I really love that so much. I really hope to build a community out of this. And it really helps me feel good about what I'm doing when you share those kind of things. So thank you. I'll see you next time. Take care.